Hi, this is Business with Dave. In this video, I'll be giving you my tips and advice for first-time cafe owners. This is a video for part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, you should definitely go to check out part 1. I'll put it on the link below. But yeah, this is part 2. Let's jump straight into this video. So firstly, you want to make sure you want to get an accountant to do your finances. This is super important. As business owners, especially first time, you want to try and do everything yourself. I get it, you want to save money, you want to see if you could do it. But this is one of the things where if you could get someone professional to do it, it will save you time, it will save you money, it will save you effort from learning all the different taxes and applications and forms like that. Particularly in the early stages of your business as well, where a lot of your focus will be on different areas of your business, like leasing, marketing, and stuff like that. Do let the accountant do all the other bookkeep. You could get a pretty good one. If you already know someone who does it, that could help you do it. Best advice to do it, because you don't want to be spending hours and hours, days and days, weeks and weeks doing it without any guidance, and you're learning as you go along. It's one of the things that it's not worth saving the money for in the beginning, and it's worth focusing your time on other important parts of the business. So do get an accountant first and foremost, maybe after a couple months in starting your business. Nextly, continuous improvement is key to success. Like in the other videos, it is so important to learn from your mistakes, that you could improve as you go along, because ultimately you are not the finished article. If you haven't done this before, if you haven't started your own business before, you'll be learning as you go along. You'll be reading books, you'll be reading articles online, you'll be potentially learning from other people, having a mentor. But ultimately, will be all part of your self-development. This will be for your future, this will be for your business. So do continuously learn, do try things, don't be afraid to fail, and see what works. Because ultimately, if you don't try, you will never know if it works, and you'll definitely have regrets after, which you should not have. So do seek out advice, do see if you can improve on stuff, do ask for feedback from potential first-time customers as well that you've been getting in, and see what can be improved and work your way as like that. So the next tip is that trends are not reliable, so do not rely on a fad or up-and-coming trend that will come and go within a year or two, because if that is solely based on your concept for your business, then ultimately when that trend dies, your business dies with it, and that's the thing you want to avoid. Try to go for more traditional or different kind of cuisine, kind of concept, just so it's a bit more safe. People know what it is, people could recognize it, foods will be familiar. If you do something too new and something too different, people will be too scared, they probably won't give you a try, and if there's already a lot of competition in that market, it becomes really fierce and you don't want to be dealing with that. So do focus on more classic dishes, more traditional cuisines, and how you can adapt it to maybe a bit more homemade, which is a nice key USP that you can adapt for your cafe business. Trends will come and go, just like everything else, so do not focus on that. You can have little parts of different trends as part of the menu, but don't create the whole concept for your cafe based on a trend, because ultimately they will die, and so will your business. So the next tip is to set yourself goals in the beginning and work towards it. So in the beginning, it's going to be, realistically, it's going to be 1 or 2 years where you are adjusting your menu, where you are trying things out, getting people to come in, trying your food, making sure that they become repeat customers, because that's so important. Having repeat customers will be able to make sure your business survives, and hopefully that will attract new customers, because hopefully positive word of mouth will generate to those new people. But just also setting yourselves reasonable goals, where if you know what your break even is, so just making sure you can cover all your costs and what extra you could do, setting those reasonable goals, setting how many customers you want in potentially, and working towards it. That will make sure that your mind is all focused, and that you have something that you're working towards and that you can improve and work on. Because one of the worst things you could be doing is starting a business and not know where you want it to go, because then you have no direction. You're going left, are you going right, are you going straight, are you going backwards? Try to avoid that. Don't be uncertain. Make sure you have a sort of minimum requirement or minimum goal that you want to reach for, and then set one higher, next one higher, and see how far you can go with your business. Because as long as you can keep striving to hit higher targets, you will be improving your business, you will be improving your systems, you'll be improving your food menus as well, and you're potentially getting new customers day in, weeks, and years as well. So stuff to focus on is to make sure that you are always giving yourself a higher goal and make sure you can achieve the minimum, and as you go up, your business will go up as well. The next tip is to make your work enjoyable. So important, because if you don't love what you do, then you're not going to be motivated to do it. You're not going to be happy showing up in the morning, you won't be happy finishing late at night, you won't be happy doing all the work that normally if you're happy to do, you'll be doing it for fun. You won't find any joy, you won't find any satisfaction, and it will be like a typical job working for someone else, 9 to 5, no purpose, no satisfaction. That's the exact thing you want to avoid, because ultimately starting any business, not just a cafe business, it is going to be hard, it's going to be time consuming, and you need to be aware of that kind of thing. You have complaints, you have reviews that won't reflect well for your business. If you don't take all of those in, and if you don't enjoy what you do, enjoy sharing your food, enjoying serving customers, then you should definitely not do this business at all, because it will eat you up inside, it will chew you up and spit you out. So if you do, but however, if you do enjoy it, you will find enjoyment in every bit of interaction with your customers, every customer smiling, serving food, all the positive comments about you and your business. That will give you satisfaction, that will push you on the bad days, the good days, the rainy days, the stormy days, the sunny days. This will push you on, so do make sure that your work is enjoyable, do make sure you have a passion for what you do, and that you love what you're serving and that you're selling, because if you don't love it, again, no motivation, you'll just feel like, okay, why am I doing this? So do give yourself a sense of purpose, give yourself a reason why you're doing this, make it enjoyable, just make sure you don't do something you hate, and you'll be pretty happy as you're doing it, so yeah. So the next tip, and this is more of a warning, is to beware of the high potential startup costs as well. So this is solicitor's fee, this is paying for leases, paying for premiums on leases that you have to buy an existing cafe for, or even starting from scratch, rebuilding everything, buying all the equipment, chairs, tables, and stuff like that. This is not an easy business to start up. It is not a cheap business to start up. And if you're doing a cafe business, you could be going through 50 to 100,000 pounds worth. So just make sure you have that capital in order to spend, because once you spend it, you're going to need extra for the day-to-day running of the business. So do beware. It has high costs, solicitors costs as well in the beginning to incur, so you want to make sure you do it well as well. So you need to put that money into the business, and just, yeah, beware of high costs. The next point is more of a warning, is that running a cafe business won't make you rich. This is not a quick money making scheme. You can't get rich within 1 or 2 years. You work really hard, long hours, and ultimately have to have a vision for the next 5 to 10 years in making sure that you're surviving and that you're making a profit at the end of it. Ultimately, you're giving yourself a wage as well, but it won't be anything that is going to be substantial if that's what you're aiming for, so do beware of that. Because ultimately, your success will be down on repeat customers, getting new customers in, and making sure that you're serving good quality food and good quality service to last the long term, and that's what you want to make sure you're working towards. But if you're looking for something quick and something rich, do something else. So the next tip is that marketing doesn't have to cost you a lot. So in terms of flyering, you just need to print out menus and go door to door, so hopefully fly your local areas. Maximize social media, so sign up to all the free social media platforms, put on pictures, messages on Instagram, Twitter, get yourself well known within the area and online. Make yourself a website so you have that online shop front that people can search you from. And you want to make sure that if you have positive reviews, it is online, people can see it online, and hopefully that will entice them to come visit you. And that is a great way in order to not have to spend too much on marketing, but just focus on the core stuff that will hopefully get customers in, as long as you're serving good quality food and good quality service as well. Because if one of those things are not great, you'll be getting negative reviews, people might be put off. So do focus on quality of food and the quality of service, and that will hopefully get you those customers coming in. So next, customer service is just as important as the food that you're selling. If you are not serving your customers well, those customers are not going to come back. End of story. Even if the food is good, they're less likely to come back because of how you are treating your customers. Ultimately, you want to create an environment where you are welcoming your customers just as if you would welcome them to your home. This is your front, this is your home, you are serving them food, you want to make sure that they're welcome, they're homely, that they're well informed of what you're selling. You can give information about what you're selling to them, and hopefully that you're greeting them, being polite, creating that good first impression, second impression, 5th, 10th, 20th time, every time they come. The consistency is good. You want to make sure you can keep those customers in order to get that repeat business and hopefully generate that positive word of mouth. So the next tip is to avoid persistent upselling. So this is where you don't feel pressured into buying something that you don't really want or what the customers didn't come here for. If you have something that are like extras, make sure it's well labeled on a menu or something in front of the till so people can see it, and whether they want it, they will buy it from you. They'll ask about it, they'll inquire. You don't need to say anything more. You just need to make sure it's displayed well so that there's an option for people to choose from. Ultimately, what I've seen a lot of places do is that they sort of feels like it's been forced on customers, and it makes them feel uneasy. They don't feel happy to say no often enough. So do beware of persistent upselling and potentially putting customers off, because that's the one thing you definitely don't want to be doing if you do have a cafe business, because there are so many competitors. So yeah, beware of that. So the next tip is to be authentic. Authentic sells very well. Be yourself. Ultimately, represent what the cuisine that you're trying to do. Offer good customer service. Greet your customers, say thank you, have a good day. Obviously, if you're faking it, customers can see it. It is not good when customers can see straight through you and your business, and that you're just there to grab potentially all their monies. You want to make sure that they're welcome. Make sure that you treat them like family members that hopefully that you like, and hopefully that they will buy into it and that they will continue supporting you and your business, because ultimately you are looking out for your customer, and that's so important. Being authentic to yourself, being authentic to the customer's well-being as well. You just give the extra care, customers appreciate it, and then ultimately you will be able to benefit in the long term, and that is what you want to do. Because if you focus too much on the shorter term gains, you have potential to lose that customers, and that customers will be put off and won't be telling their friends and family about it. Make sure you have a backstory. So do you have sort of an idea why you started this business, why you started this cafe business, why have you started this concept? Is it because of your grandma's cooking? Is it because your mum's famous dishes and stuff like that and you just want to share it? Or is this your own creation and you're just offering it in a different style or a different way? Be able to educate your customers about you and your business, and that hopefully they will like you enough to give you a chance, and hopefully tell their friends and family about it. Because I focus a lot on positive word of mouth, because it's free, because you don't need to spend any money on it. People talk to their friends and family regularly, and hopefully that spreads to one person, hopefully that spreads to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of their friends and family, and hopefully that spreads. Hopefully that spreads, they come into your business and buys from you. So I cannot stress how important it is, and ultimately it's free, and that's what you need to focus on. Good customer service, good food, positive word of mouth. So remembering names and their orders. So this is super important. I cannot stress enough. I feel like this is one of the most important things that if you could master, if you can use that bit more brain power, train your staff to remember orders and names, you'll be building long-term customer loyalty. Super important. I'm going to say it again, long-term customer loyalty. When you're building that relationship between customer and your business for the long term, this is where those customers will be those who will save your business during crisis. Whenever there's a crisis, whenever there's something going on, you have a bad period during the year, something goes wrong, these are the people that will want to keep supporting you in order for you to survive. And that's so important, because if you only focus on one-off customers, those you only get on Instagram that only look for your pictures, come in, buy and take pictures and never come back, that will never sustain your business in the long term. Particularly in the first couple of years as well, this will be super important for your survival. In order for the next 5 to 10 years, you want the same customers to keep buying from you, so then you will be able to create that sustainable income year after year, month after month as well. And the key thing is to remember those names, because that creates that bond, it creates that relationship. It makes them not feel like just another number, just another customer, that you've actually gotten to know them, their food preferences, how they like their sandwiches, how they like their soups and stuff like that. Super easy, it's free, you just need to do well, create that customer service, create that good positive word of mouth, and as long as you're serving good quality food, those customers will come back, but they're more likely to come support you if anything happens. And obviously with the whole coronavirus at the moment in 2020, having that loyal customer base is so important in order to keep your business going, so do focus on that if you can. Not that if you can, you should, because this will be the key thing that will keep your business going for years and years and years. So my last and final tip is to make sure your business has at least 2 sources of income coming in for your cafe. This is regarding your different types of customers that were coming in. You want to make sure you have at least 2 or 3 or 4 of these ones, okay? So you have office workers, families with kids, health conscious individuals, big corporate events, social events, delivery services. You want to make sure that you can maximize the amount of customers having reached for your business. Because if anything happens, if you only focus on one of them, for example, office worker, if there's no office workers happening around your area, then your footfall will dry up. You won't have any business. This is a good example for those businesses who are set up in the city center. If there are no offices, if there's no one coming in, their businesses are not going to survive. You want to make sure, if you have a business that is around office workers, you want to make sure there's still some residentials, maybe there's a delivery service that you can reach out of the city. But ultimately, this will be down to your location of your cafe business, particularly if you can focus on more residential with some businesses, with a gym nearby. Those will be more ideal, because then you have more access to customers that have the ability to come support you when times are tough. During times of uncertainty, just like now with the coronavirus and the pandemic, having the extra sources of customers coming in to support you means that your business will be able to survive, because you have more customers to reach. You're not just focusing on office workers, you're not just focusing on residentials, you are branching out to as many people as you can. And as long as you have good customer service, good customer loyalty, they will support you in any way they can in order for you to survive, and that's what you need during times of crisis. And just to make sure you have contingency money as well. Contingency money, super important. Make sure you can survive in the long term. if anything happens, and that would be my last and probably the most important tip in this video. And as you could probably tell from this whole crisis going on, it's super important to have that contingency money because you have no idea what will happen, and you want to make sure you can prepare yourself and your business for the worst that could happen. And make sure you don't just have money on a day-to-day, because if you're running day-to-day and relying on those sales, if it dries up anytime, your business is not going to survive. So do think of it in more longer term, so longer than 1 or 2 years. Think of it as 5 to 10 years, and making sure you can sustain a business as you go along. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to see those numbers go up. Every time there's a new subscriber, I'm just like, yes. And then when there's another one, yes. So do let me do that when you subscribe too. If you have any questions, leave in the comments below. I've been Business with Dave. I'll see you next video. See ya.